What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Sweezy NBA channel. Everyone loves highlight dunks and deep threes, but what often separates good teams from great ones is defense. The ability to slow down stars, force turnovers, and close out games on the defensive end is what truly builds championship DNA. Today, we're breaking down the 6 best defensive teams heading into the 2025-2026 season. Let's get into it. Starting out first with the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Wolves are the definition of a modern defensive powerhouse. Rudy Gobert continues to anchor the paint. He might not score 25 points a night, but his rim protection changes every offensive possession for the opponent. Guards hesitate to attack the lane, and teams are forced to settle for lower quality looks. Jaden McDaniels is the versatile wing every team dreams of. Long, mobile, and committed to guarding the best scorer on the other team. The biggest difference, though, is Anthony Edwards' defensive leap. He's no longer just a highlight reel dunker. He takes on the challenge of guarding star players, applying pressure full court, and setting the tone with effort. When you combine all of that with a well-drilled system, Minnesota really has the tools to shut down any style of offense. They can defend big, defend small, and adapt on the fly. That's why the Wolves aren't just playoff threats offensively. They're one of the most feared defenses in the NBA. Even after roster changes, the Celtics remain a defensive juggernaut. This team has built its identity on toughness and versatility, and that hasn't changed. Derek White has emerged as arguably the best guard defender in the league, and Jaylen Brown continues to provide physicality and athleticism on the perimeter. What makes Boston so tough is their ability to switch everything. They don't rely on one rim protector or one elite stopper. They have a system where almost every player is capable of holding their ground. That means no easy mismatches, no weak links, and no breathing room for opponents. Even Peyton Pritchard, who's undersized, has embraced the team's defensive culture and plays with relentless energy. Under Brad Stevens' influence and Joe Mazzulla's leadership, the Celtics embody defensive discipline. They can test shots without fouling, rotate quickly, and make you earn every single point. Whether it's playoff basketball or a random night in January, their defense always shows up. Oklahoma City might be young, but their defense is years ahead of schedule. It starts with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who plays with elite anticipation and long arms that disrupt passing lanes. He's not just a scorer, he sets the tone on both ends. Jalen Williams adds another layer of versatility, able to guard guards, wings, and even switch onto bigs without blinking. And then there's Chet Holmgren. Chet isn't just tall. He's mobile, smart, and one of the best rim protectors in the league already. His presence alone forces teams to change their offensive schemes, and his ability to defend on the perimeter allows OKC to switch across the board. What makes the Thunder special is their speed. They swarm ball handlers, recover on shooters, and run opponents into mistakes. They're not just stopping you, they're turning defense into offense, turning steals and blocks into fast breaks. As their young core grows, their defense might soon be the best in the NBA if it isn't already. We've got the New York Knicks, a team that embodies old-school physical defense. Under Tom Thibodeau, effort was non-negotiable, and under Mike Brown, I think it'll be close to the same thing. Every player knows they'll sit on the bench if they don't commit on defense. OG Anunoby has been a game-changer since arriving. He's one of the best perimeter defenders in the NBA and gives the Knicks someone who can consistently match up with the league's top wings. In the paint, Mitchell Robinson is an elite rim protector when healthy, erasing shots and controlling the boards. The Knicks' biggest weapon, though, is physicality. They hit hard on screens, contest every shot with force, and turn games into battles. Playing against them feels like going through a war, and that wears opponents down over a 7-game series. If you want to score against the Knicks, you better be ready to work for every single bucket. The Cavaliers might have the scariest front court defense in basketball. Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen form a wall in the paint. If you manage to get past the Cavs' perimeter defense, you're still facing two of the best shot blockers and rebounders in the game. That safety net changes everything about how opponents run their offense. On the perimeter, Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell have bought into competing defensively, knowing Mobley and Allen have their backs. The Cavs' identity is simple. Force you into bad shots. They contest, they funnel drives into traffic, and they dominate the glass so you don't get second chances. In a league where spacing and three-point shooting reign, Cleveland reminds everyone that a dominant paint defense can still be a game changer. And finally, one of the best defensive powerhouses in the league is the Houston Rockets. The Houston Rockets have quietly built one of the most promising young defensive rosters in the NBA, and the 2025-2026 season might be where it really shows. Led by head coach Ime Udoka, whose defensive philosophy emphasizes physicality and discipline, the Rockets are shaping up to be a team that nobody wants to see in a grinded-out battle. At the heart of this defensive identity is Amen Thompson, one of the most versatile young guards in the league. Standing at 6'7" with elite speed and athleticism, Thompson is a defensive disruptor who can switch onto multiple positions. His ability to pressure ball handlers, jump passing lanes, and even protect the rim as a guard makes him the type of player who elevates the team's overall defensive ceiling. Then there's Tari Eason, who has quickly become the Rockets' defensive engine. Eason brings relentless energy, toughness, and an instinct for making plays that don't always show up on the box score. Whether it's diving for loose balls, contesting shots in transition, or locking down forwards on the perimeter, Eason is the kind of guy who makes everyone around him better. His defensive versatility allows Udoka to use him in all kinds of lineups, from small ball looks to more traditional setups. Of course, they're surrounded by other key defenders. Jabari Smith Jr. is developing into a rangy, switchable forward who can protect the rim and stretch the floor offensively. Add in solid rim protection from Alperen Şengün, who has taken strides in positioning and anticipation, and you have a balanced defensive group. The Rockets' depth also plays into their defensive strength. Houston now has the length and energy to keep pressure on opponents for a full 48 minutes. They may not be the most experienced squad yet, but their raw athleticism and commitment to defense make them a team on the rise. If Amen Thompson continues to blossom as a defensive star and Tari Eason stays healthy and consistent, the Rockets could surprise a lot of people and rank among the league's toughest defensive units this season. So there you have it, the top 6 defensive teams for a championship contending defense in the 2025-2026 NBA season. The Timberwolves, Celtics, Thunder, Cavaliers, Knicks, and the Rockets. Each builds toughness differently, whether it's versatility, culture, or paint dominance. But they all know one non-negotiable: defense wins championships. Which team do you think will bring the stingiest defense this season? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe button, and I'll catch you in the next one for some more NBA content.